industrial action is because of pensions. It's a national dispute, specifically in relation to the fact that each member is being asked to pay more, work longer, and you're going to get less. It's the three simple factors that everybody's upset about. It's the reason why we see, we had out here this morning 3 generations outside, ranging from 5 years old up to 60 years old, all upset about what's going to happen to them and what's going to happen in the future. So I think it's those 3 key points is why members are so upset and so frustrated and why we can see such a good turnout today. Well, I think one of the key questions has always been, and one of the media patrols at the moment, is pitching a battle between public sector pensions and private sector pensions. The key message with this is not about public sector pensions, this is about everybody's pension. Everybody has the right to a good pension, everybody deserves a decent pension. This is not just about individuals who work for the public sector, this is not just us bleeding because we feel we're hard done by. This action is for everybody, it's for everybody in the public sector who doesn't have trade unions, who doesn't have the strength to be able to try and fight these decisions that are being made. And the problem is, if we don't do this now, it's going to be a question of who's next. I think what's clearly very telling as well about the action in particular is the fact that a government a day before this amount of industrial action, seeing all these unions come together, is the announcement that we're hearing now there is another pay freeze or a cap on 1% over the next 2 years, which will equate, in the numbers at the moment, is another 710,000 jobs that are going to be lost across the public sector. To me, it's almost a declaration of war on trade unions. It's unthinkable to think on one hand that we're being asked to come back to the table, to discuss this action, to try and negotiate on this, but then on the other hand we're also being told, actually, you're going to lose more money, we're going to cap your money again, and we're going to lay more of you off. It's unthinkable that both things can come at the same time.
The reason I'm on strike is I just feel that public services have been completely valued by this coalition government, and I'm fed up of getting battered from pillar to post. So it's about time that we got together and made a stand, and this is the reason I'm out today. Victory to the strikers.
I want to protect my pension and the pension of my colleagues, and because I think that to reward public sector workers is a statement of what society values, not to put a price on everything that moves.
My pension and to support my colleagues' pension and to fight for the rights, the employee rights that we've fought so hard over the years to get.
Hi, why are we on strike? Well, I suppose nominally we're on strike because of the cuts in pensions, over the public sector pensions, but I think people really feel angry about a lot more things than that. The cuts in services, the jobs redundancies, the cuts in the living standards of poor people, and just to sort of rub salt in the wound, last night one of the key announcements they say is that the payment for the next band of austerity measures that Osborne announced last night are going to hit not the bankers, not the chief executives, not the Mike Moores, but they're going to hit public sector workers with a 1% pay freeze going beyond 2014, and low-paid working families on tax credits. So where's this we're all in together nonsense? Complete crap, and that's why we're on strike today, and let's hope we have many more days like this in the future.
We are here on strike because we want to safeguard our pensions for future years.
I'm fairly cheesed off about the way the government's targeted public sector employees. The fact that we've got to pay 3% more on top of our pensions, it's not even going into the pension fund, it's going to offset the deficit, and that's really angry. And of course, in the job I do, I can't see myself lasting till 67 or 68 years old. You know, will I get got rid of on the grounds of this, you know, not being able to do my job? It's disgrace, and that's why I'm out protecting what I already have.
I want strike because basically what the government's doing is attacking the public sector workers, it's attacking them on safety rules, it's attacking their pensions, it's attacking their rights to tribunals, and it's attacking their jobs. It's always been like this. This is the standard Tory routine. Basically, they plan to attack anybody who's not male, middle class, white, and rich. And I don't believe that we should be sacrificing the pensions of another generation now or in the future. I also don't believe that private sector pensions should be in any way compared with ours, because they should be just as good as ours. It's no answer to drive everybody to the bottom and say, well, our pensions should be just the same as yours. No, we should all have good pensions. That's why I'm on strike today.
Generous. And don't tell us that when Michael Gove claimed more in expenses for doing up his second home. Now the government tells us we're all in this together. Well, if you want to reduce this deficit, why don't you tax the bankers' bonuses? Why don't you crack down on all those corporate tax dodgers? And why don't you support the fairest tax, the tax on the speculators, the Robin Hood tax? Support it now!
Right, well, we're here again, taking action. ATL members thought taking action on the 30th of June would be good enough. It wasn't. We know it forced the government to improve its offer, but it's not good enough, and you all know that.
Well, there's millions of us, your public, out on the streets today, standing up for their rights, and we are all in it together.
The only people who need to compromise are the bankers. They need to take the cuts for the mess they've made of our country. It's as simple as that. We have to take the strength of today and we have to go out and fight and fight and fight until we win. We are not going to give up. This is from Tahira Square. They show us the way. We will fight until we win.
We've also patiently borne the brunt of an economic crisis that's not of our making by accepting pay freezes, job losses and attacks on our terms and conditions.
We protect, defend and educate, clean our streets and many other roles essential for a decent and civilised society.
The public sector does not directly produce wealth, but it is the muscle that enables mobility. It's the brain that facilitates invention. It is the heart from which civilization flows, and without it no state can function. Remove it and chaos ensues. The public sector underpins the private sector. We want to work together. We think everybody should have a fair pension.
We have had enough of being blamed for an economic crisis that our members did not cause. We are here because we've had enough because we are being asked to pay more, work longer and get less. We are here because it would take the average local government and public sector worker 3 lifetimes to earn the same pension as a cabinet minister.
Get your sleazy hands off public sector workers. Go and attack the spiffs and the speculators, the corporate elite, the super rich, those that don't pay the taxes and cause this dispute and cause this crisis.
Those MPs who are telling us we can't afford this are getting £40,000 a year pension, 10 times the average public sector worker. Let every public sector have what you've got for yourself.
If they don't back down,
then they'll see us do it again next year until we win.